Hello. So if you're here, you more than likely saw my skit on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, or one of the other multiple places that I post it, talking about how to style short hair, and you're wanting to learn. So welcome to my YouTube channel. If you've not done so already, please subscribe and like my page, hit the notification button so any video that goes live, you're fully aware of it and you can come watch it. So everyone say hello to Ellie. That is literally her name. It is on the bottom of her head. So Ellie's gonna be our model for today. For short hair, I like to use a straightening iron and a curling iron. Straightening iron we're not curling with. This is just to smooth out anything that is not getting curled. On short hair, I don't curl everything, and so make sure you have this handy if you have short hair, especially if you struggle with it being too poofy. Okay? I like hot tools that tell you how hot they're getting exactly. The dials that tell you like 1 through 3 or anything like that, no, I want to know exactly what it's heating up to. So when I turn this on, I like mine to be under 400. This one is set to 380 and it slowly increases and tells me the temperature. Same thing goes for my curling iron. When I turn this one on, I have to bump it up. This one I set to 350. Okay. Now, just because I'm keeping them low does not mean I don't use heat protection. Heat protection is key to make sure your hair remains healthy, because a lot of times when people have shorter hair, they like to do the heat tools a lot, then they get unhealthy hair because they're using their heat tool a lot. So please make sure you're using heat protection. When I had short hair, because remember, I'm not just a hairstylist, I've also had short hair myself, so this is from my experience as well. I like to go from, say you're like pulling your hair halfway back, okay? So right above the occipital bone, right? You have a bone in your head right here. Go ahead and go right above that, okay? Not a ton, just like a finger above it, okay? And we're gonna pull this portion up and out of the way. Back here, and mind you, this is messy, okay? I'm not making perfect sections because you will not make perfect sections at home. Everything underneath here, I'm going to straighten and bump under. With that being said, we're going to go first in with our heat protection. This one is the Kenra Heat Block Spray. This is the high hold. This is very helpful for people that struggle to keep curls in their hair. It comes out a little hard, so I always brush through. I'm struggling with words today, y'all. Just spray it in, take a comb or a hairbrush, and brush it through, okay? You're gonna take your flat iron and you're gonna just slowly work your way through. A lot of people, when they are flat ironing, they like to, I'm not even gonna do it in a minute because I don't even like doing, they like to do this number. Stop it, don't do that. You want to go low and slow, okay? So you're grabbing sections and slowly bringing your iron down, okay? I'm slowly tucking it just so I firmly believe that hair tucked under looks healthier than pinned straight. That's just my opinion. You can do it pin straight if that's something that you want. I'm bumping everything under, and it does not have to be perfect. This is a messy kind of style, which I really like with my short hair babes. And you see how this kind of looks a little stiff? When you comb it back, you're gonna be fine. You're not even gonna notice, okay? Now, once I've combed back through it, you see how that kind of pushes everything in so it's not going to poof out on the curls? Because curls are gonna make everything bigger, right? And if you go too big or if you make the underneath too big, back here is just gonna look bulky. So if we're going ahead and making sure that's staying down, it's not flipping out crazy. Some people like it to flip out. You can go the opposite direction with your flat iron if that's something that you want to do. I don't like that look on myself or my clients unless they particularly ask for it. I like this tucked under because we're about to make the top really messy and really cute. Okay, so now you're gonna take this down. What's first step? Heat protection, okay? Then comb it through. Now, this is where it can get a little complicated, especially if you struggle to get in the back. So I've already posted a video about longer hair and curling it. If you've not seen that, we're gonna use the same techniques from that video. It is very simple if you break it down. When you're using a curling iron, we'll make another video for if you don't have a clamp or if you have a shorter clamp on your curling iron. But today we're using ones that have a normal longer clamp, okay? So When you're using a curling iron, you first and foremost, I like to make sure my curling iron at all times is completely vertical, okay? The side that you're curling, you're going to make sure the clamp is on that side facing the mirror, okay? If it's turned a certain direction, say it's turned this way, all you can go is a quarter width with your curl, and you're not gonna get a good curl. If you're starting fully at the mirror, you got a full rotation here, okay? It's helping you, okay? This is good. You wanna go toward your shoulder, right? If you're over here, you wanna go towards your shoulder, okay? Everything on each side is towards your shoulder. I like to leave the bangs out because that's a little tricky, especially if you have the shorter portions right around your face. I'm gonna show you how to do that at the end of this video. So I like to start by taking my little bang area out and putting that a little bit in front of my face, but not where I can't see. And like how we did with the longer hair, you're also gonna take vertical sections, okay? So that it makes it a little messier, makes it a little bit more ringlety. But with shorter hair, sometimes it's easier to do half and half, okay? So I like to start from the bottom and work my way up. Clamp towards the mirror, rotate it, okay? Now, with shorter hair, I like to make sure I'm using about an inch curling iron. If you have an inch and a quarter, that's fine. But I prefer an inch curling iron for shorter hair. I always go straight back, or like everything goes backwards with my curls. I don't like anything coming forward. And then with short hair, I like the ends to be just a little bit straighter, similar to like the Utah curls that a lot of people are a huge fan of right now. We now have two curls. See if you'll rotate. We have two curls at the front. We're just gonna keep doing that all over your head. Remember, clamp towards the front, rotating back. Now, something that's really helpful to keep in mind is you're going to make sure you put the center of the hair in the clamp, okay? A lot of people want to start from the bottom and roll up. And that means you're just gonna get a flip at the end. You're not gonna get a ton of a big curl in that. When you put the clamp right here, right? You can only go so far. So you wanna make sure you keep a finger on the handle so that you can slowly or just lightly put a little bit of pressure on the handle so that the clamp will open so that you can get more hair in there. Now you're not gonna wanna like fully open it to turn because then the hair is gonna fall out. You're gonna want to just barely put a little bit of pressure. I don't even know if you can see how much, like you can see it's tiny, just a teeny tiny little bit to release that clamp, to release that hair so that it'll lift. Now back here in the back of the head, you remember we flat ironed a lot of this down here. So you don't have to hit that. You don't really have to curl that. But if it gets mixed in with the curls, it's okay. This is a messy look on purpose. If the only thing that's like is if you don't get a huge chunk, okay? I've seen where some people go in with a curling iron and then they'll go in with like a waver, the 3-barrel waver. You can do short hair so many different ways. It is not a like one way only works type of thing. I've seen where some people, once they get this trick down, they'll start alternating where they go the other direction. But since we're still new at curling our hair, we're gonna do this, and then at a later date, we'll come back and learn other tricks, okay? So as we go around your head, you're just keep going in the same direction until you feel like you're about center, okay? Now, mind you, a lot of people freak out when they see the steam from the curling iron. Steam is not bad, okay? Especially if you have put a heat protectant on there, okay? Because the heat protectant is making sure that you are not melting your hair off. We are about center, okay? We're gonna go the other direction. This is where some people get a little nervous, is you've got this down, you've got going one direction or whatever side that you started on, then changing directions, it blows your brain sometimes, but I promise you, if you are struggling, please unplug your curling iron. Don't do this before you go to work or you got somewhere to be. Do this on a day that you have a little extra time. Unplug your curling iron, make sure it's completely cooled off, and practice this by yourself without having this on, so you're not freaking out if it's going to fry your hair off, if you're leaving the curling iron on there too long, if it's too overheating your hair. Curling on the opposite side of my dominant hand is easier for me than curling on the same side. Does that make sense? So if you've got the same side with your dominant hand down, you got this. You got it. So remember, we left out the front portion because we're gonna do that front little bang just a little bit different. And remember, we're doing like a half and half, right? So we're doing like a top curl and a bottom curl. Halfway, light touches, turning away from the face and towards your shoulder, right? And we're leaving just a little bit out at the ends, just so when you're pulling it through, it semi-straightens it. And also, it's going to make it a little messy, okay? It doesn't have to be perfect. I see a lot of people, they section their hair absolutely perfectly. They want to go through, I'm trying to pretend like we're doing this on my own head. They try to go through and make every portion of a curl the same amount as the curl before. Somebody asked me here recently, how much hair do you put in there? It kind of depends. And it depends on your hair. So that's a difficult question. It's more of how much you've played with it and you like it. Okay, so like when I'm curling my own hair, I can take bigger sections because I like a more loose kind of curl. And I found the less hair in the curling iron, the tighter a curl is going to be. Okay. What is your face when you're concentrating? Everybody has a concentration face. What is your concentration face? Mine is, it's not very attractive, whatever. Whose is? If you have an attractive concentration face, the hair back here, kind of behind the ears and the nape of the head, you don't have to worry about doing. Some people like to curl that, but I worry about it making it too poofy. Teach their own. Your hair may not do it. Mine, I have a good bit of hair, especially in the nape of my head. When my hair was shorter, if I curled that, it poofed out way too much. So I don't do that. And everything on each side has been curled away from my face. And it's in a vertical section with the curling iron in a vertical position. Y'all, I am struggling. I did not say Willis next. Okay, so now that we have these little baby bang portions that I have left out, what I like to do with this area, a lot of people, they want to go in with too small of sections right around their face, and then it gets too tight of a curl, and they don't get the swoop. If you know what I'm talking about, the swoop is, my hair is heavy right now, is this. That, right? I personally like my swoop. I don't want it to be super tight. So what I do when I'm curling someone's hair, is especially my own, and I am doing their bang area, I'm not curling it out from away from their face. I'm curling it in front of their face because when it comes back, it's going to curl more to swoop in front of your face, giving an angle. I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but I hope you're understanding what I'm trying to say. So you're gonna do the same technique that you did on the sides with doing it out from your face. You're still gonna do it like put the iron towards the mirror. You're still going to put the iron halfway into the hair, but you're going to direct the hair towards your face or even in front of your face rather than over to the side. So if that means you need to turn your head so that you can see it out in front of you, do that until you learn. And please practice without your curling iron on first before you start using hot tools on your hair and possibly burning your hair, okay? Just please promise me you're gonna try that. So when I get in here, like I said, I'm going slowly in front of the face, but I'm very much pulling my iron down as I go through it. Do you see how this curl is more elongated than the rest? It's because I'm not wrapping it in the barrel. I'm kind of dragging, doing like a dragging motion with the curling iron, okay? And it's making this more of a loose waterfall kind of curl. I really hope you speak Thali, because if you don't, I apologize. Now on the other side, again, we're going partially in front of the face to create the swoop. And when we curl, we're still doing the same technique, away from the face, towards the shoulder, clamp towards the mirror. With this, we're dragging the curling iron, okay? Clamp in the center, slowly adding more. But you see how I'm dragging the curling iron down as I'm going instead of allowing it all to sit up against her head? Now, A lot of people ask, how do I make sure that my curls are staying? So there's a few different options with that. Now, I'll be completely honest with you. Sometimes it depends on how tight you make the curls. Sometimes it's how long you let the curls cool. Sometimes it's very dependent on your hair type. Sometimes you need to make the curls tighter. Some people's hair just will not hold curl for the life of them. It is very, very dependent. Some people, if you add a little texture spray, it is extremely helpful. Or hairspray, it is extremely helpful. My personally, because I have natural curl, my hair holds curl very, very, very well. I typically have to curl my hair at the beginning of the week, and by the end of the week, it's very loose curl, but I still have curl there from my curling iron from day one, and typically don't have to do anything more to it unless it has a weird line from my hair tie. Not everybody is like that. Learning your hair takes practice, and learning your hair takes time. I promise you, you will figure it out and what you like your hair to look like and what works best for your hair. I promise you, on this YouTube channel, I'm going to teach you all the different ways that I know how, as a stylist of 12 years, to help you. And not everything I say in one video is going to be particularly best for you, but I'm going to teach you everything I know to try to help you the best I can. I personally prefer texture spray over hairspray because I feel like it's a happy medium, not too strong, but it gives a little grip. So both of these are from Redken. This is their dry texture spray, and this is their brushable hairspray, okay? So these, in my opinion, are similar, okay? Because brushable hairspray means that it's more movable. It's not gonna make your hair feel like it's a statue, okay? Does that make sense? It's not gonna freeze it. It's not gonna make it feel like you can't run your fingers through it. Of course, that depends on how much product you put in your hair, okay? And not every single person's hair is gonna be the same. My hair, putting hairspray in it, may affect differently than someone who has very, very thin hair. Dry texture spray, or just texture spray in general, gives your hair a little grit, okay? So imagine you have super clean hair and you struggle to hold curl. If you go day 2, day 3, and your hair is not super oily yet, this is like day 2 or 3 where your hair now wants to hold curl because it's not super smooth from you blow drying it, okay? So I personally like texture spray, but not everybody does. And I like to just pick it up and just spray in there. You don't have to like make it perfect. I think that's what a lot of people struggle with, is everybody wants everything to be perfect, and it's not gonna be, and that's okay. A lot of people like to comb. I like to run my fingers through because then I can see how messy I can get it. I like to pull apart curls and see what it looks like. And then you get to shake it out. If you have to go back in and do a little extra, that's okay. So you see how this is beautiful? I love this. She's stunning. But I think I want a little bit more up in here, but I don't want to do too much. Are we getting where I'm going? I'm gonna take my curling iron, and I'm not gonna take the entire section, okay? I'm gonna take a tiny little bit. Typically, when I'm doing this, I am going to go in 4 corners. If I was to split the head into 4 corners, like down the center of her nose, and then from ear to ear, I'm going to take a tiny little top corner from each of those sections to put a little extra curl in, so it gives it a little bit more lift on top. That's just personally what I like to do. Doesn't have to be perfect. But you see how I'm lifting more at the root, and you see all that extra hair that's still down there? See all this extra hair? You don't need to put it in there. Do y'all see the difference? It gave it a little lift up top. Gave you a little bit more volume, a little bit more play, right? You see how messy that is? Now, if she had an ear, I'd probably tuck that like that. Or honestly, I feel like Ellie needs some more bang. I feel like this needs to be a little shorter for her because I feel like her forehead's a little small to have all this hair towards her face. But I don't know if you know, but Ellie's not real. This is how I like to curl short hair. And with this being as messy, purposefully messy as it is going to allow you to go longer between your shampoos and your restyles, okay? So the messier it gets, right? The less I personally feel like tomorrow when you have to go restyle your hair, you have to do. Because more than likely, it's still a little messy. And all you have to do is do a few little extra curls here and there, if you have to do anything at all. And it's revamped. It's ready to go. I love that about curls, and especially if you're going with a messy style, is being able to create a style that has longevity. Because the less that you're able to put heat on your hair, the better your hair's health is going to be, okay? And just because you keep your hair short doesn't mean you don't want healthy hair. So after we've done all that, I'm not done. You will never, ever catch me doing any style on anybody and not put oil in their hair. There's many different kinds of oils that you can put in your hair. I personally have 3 favorites currently. A lot of my clients don't want a heavy oil, and that is why I like the Verb oil, and plus it's clear. With my clients, majority of them being blonde, this makes sure that their oil is not turning their hair blonde, okay? Because a lot of oils, they have a tint to them, and that does not mean that it's going to turn your hair like brassy or anything like that. But I feel like this is an extra benefit to make sure you're not getting there, okay? I've had a lot of people end up saying that their curls hold better. Now, when you put an oil in, a lot of people, for some reason, want to go all over, and they say they struggle with oil. Don't put oil at your root. Do not put oil at your root. Please, no. I put half of a pump of the Verb Ghost oil, okay, in my hand. You see, it's very light. You don't really see anything on there. It's clear. And I rub my hands together, okay? I don't want a glob of it everywhere. And I just run it through. I know it looks like but I'm literally grabbing the mid shaft of her hair and running my hands through her ends. And I'll even go in there and does that make sense? After I get done with doing this, there's extra oil. I rub it into my hands. One thing, I don't know if your mama ever told you or whoever raised you ever told you, make sure you're moisturizing your face, your neck, your chest, and your hands. You're gonna be set. You good, baby. Okay. So now you have oil, texture spray, and or hairspray in your hair. Personally, I believe you're ready to go. I may add a little bit more. So I'm gonna actually add a little hairspray around Ellie's face because her hair's wanting to fall at first. This is not a Redken ad. I like their products, okay? So, Trick Dry Shampoo. I like this one. My current favorite is K18's, but this one is a huge favorite of mine. It goes on white, but when you massage it in, I don't feel like I have product in my hair, and I really like that. I don't want to feel product in my hair because then it makes me feel itchier quicker. Does that make any sense? So dry shampooing the day you blow dry, the day that you style, the day that you just got out of the shower is going to help prolong your shampoo. Does that make sense? So it's going to help you not have to shampoo as often. And so allowing you to go longer between your shampoo or between showering or shampooing your head, allowing your products to go longer, also allowing your color, if you are color girly, it's going to allow your color to last longer because the more you shampoo, the faster your color comes out. So what I'm a huge fan of doing is going right down the part line. You don't have to do a lot. Right around your hairline. And then right back here in the crown. And a little extra va-va-voom is I pick up this and go on the sides, right there. And then after you put it in there, massage it in like you're shampooing your head. That's going to help get rid of the white cast that has maybe put on there from the dry shampoo. A lot of people get dry shampoos solely based on not having a white cast, which I completely understand. But if you massage that in properly, it should go away with the proper product. Also, a lot of people talk about how their hair will not hold a curl. And I've found a lot of those people are are smoothing the snot out of their hair when they're blow drying and then trying to go back in and curl it. So what you've done is created a style by smoothing that hair out super pin straight, okay? So when you're doing that, when you go back in to be like, hey, no, I actually want you to bend your hair, is like, no, you've already told me what I'm supposed to be doing. And my job today is to be pin straight. So what you can do instead of smoothing everything out to be super duper straight, if you could go in and rough dry a lot of it, right? Get majority of the moisture out and then just gently smooth it out. Because I understand a lot of people may have some bend or curl in their hair. but that's not bad. That's not bad to have that, especially if you're wanting to have a rough, curled type of look. You want some movement. And pre-smoothing too much can prohibit your curls from staying. I love you. I hope you have a great day, and thank you for learning with me. Bye, y'all.